description of Radha and Krishna's swing festival. So now he's standing here. And take note, when he wrote this, he did not write this like he's writing a novel, like in paragraphs. This is champu. Champu is a special type of poetry. There's a special meter and special way of, I don't know the specific characteristics of this and how it's different with other types of poetry. But I know champu is a type of poetry. So, and usually at the end of every song or prayer, and you can see, they always write their name, but they write it in a way that is part of the song also. So anyway, here he's saying that this is how they translate it now. He said, with the description of Radha and Krishna's swing festival, I, Kavi Karnapur, the crest jewel of Rasikas, conclude the book entitled Ananda Vrindavan Champu, which parallels the Vrindavan pastimes of the Lord described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Did you get that? He said this is parallel to the pastimes described in Srimad Bhagavatam. He's not making his own, whatever is written, this is in accordance to what is revealed in Srimad Bhagavatam also. And he said, I have not described the Bhagavatam chapters about the gopis' songs and separation. The gopi Gita. I have not described that. What else? The killing of Arishta, Aristasur, and that's the time when Radha was manifest. So he also not described that. And Keshi, he has not described that. He said, I have not described the coming of Akrur and entering the arena of Kamsa. And that means that all this thing, Lila of Krishna going to Mathura, that I have not described that. And he said, because, so giving the reason, because I consider them unsuitable to the sweet mood of Madhurya Vrindavan. It's I don't want to discuss this. It's not suitable to the sweet moods of Vrindavan. Because it's I'm revealing all these pastimes which you can use for your meditation. And then making you become absorbed. These are the moods of Vrindavan. So why would I describe Krishna going to Mathura and Dwarka? Even the gopis singing Gopi Gita, he is not describing it. And to think, this Kavi Karnapur, you can say, he is really, of course he's one of the associates of Mahaprabhu, but we can actually say, he's Rupanova. Why? He wrote very nice description of glorification of Rupa Goswami also. And playing with words also. You know the verse? This what is it? No, I forgot. And this has been quoted by Krishna Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitamrita. Priya Swarupe, you know this? Priya Swarupe, what is it?
Dayata Swarupe. Priya Swarupe, Dayata Swarupe.
Yes. Priya Swarupe, Dayata Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahaja Virupe, and so on. He's using all this Rupe, like that. Because it's glorifying Rupa Goswami. But it's actually this verse also, by so many ways to interpret this. We can maybe discuss about this in Rupa Goswami's Tiruval coming very soon. If I'm here. So he said, he's telling all these chapters and all these pastimes in the Bhagavatam that he's not including in this book. Because he considered it unsuitable to the sweet moods of Madhurya Vrindavan. Saying the confidential pastimes of Krishna, the embodiment of transcendental wonder, are eternal by nature and constantly present in their manifest and unmanifest forms. You get that? This Bhakti Krishna is confidential, meaning very secret. No. Only those who are qualified or those who are getting the favor, they can know. And he said they are embodiment of transcendental wonder. Okay, very amazing. And he said, and they are eternal by nature. So when you say eternal by nature, that's what he's saying here, is they're constantly present, how in their manifest and also in their unmanifest forms. And now he's saying, what is the proof that Krishna's transcendental abode of Vrindavan exists eternally, though invisible to the material eye? Like right now, we're in Vrindavan. Can you see Vrindavan? You see all this crowd of people and all these big buildings. Well, we want to see the Vrindavan. Vrindavan, the forest of Vrindavan, like this, with all this lila. So he said, what is the proof that Krishna's transcendental abode of Vrindavan exists eternally, though invisible to the material eye? In answer to this query, the Bhagavatam states, and he's quoting a verse. This is a famous verse. Is Jayati Jananivaso Devaki Janmavado Yaduvara Parishat Swara Durvirasya Madharmam Stira Chala Vijnagna Sats Susmita Shri Mukena Brajapula Vanitanam Vardayan Kamadevam. I'm sure you've heard this verse before. Gurudev also liked to explain this verse. He said, this one verse has the whole Bhagavatam in there. It's just in this verse, like that. There's one article, we published in Harmonies, and Gurudev's class about this particular verse. Jayati Janani Vasudevaki Janmavado. He's saying, Lord Shri Krishna is he who is known as Janani Vasu, the ultimate resort of all living entities. Jan means people, no? So Nivasu, where all people taking shelter, reside. The resort of all living entities. Who is also known as Devaki Nandan. But so here Devaki Nandan, so people will say, we don't accept Krishna as son of Devaki, he's son of Yashoda. So how you can say like that? But we have been explained, Devaki is one name of Yashoda also. So here he's saying Devaki Nandan, that's actually in one meaning can refer to Yashodananda, son of Devaki or son of Yashoda. He is the guide of the Yadu dynasty, and with his mighty arms, he kills everything inauspicious, as well as every man who is impious. By his presence, he destroys all things inauspicious for all living entities, moving and inert. His blissful smiling face always increases the lusty desires of the gopis of Vrindavan. May he be all glorious and happy. So, I want to quickly finish this so we can glorify and backward. So we'll just quickly read this. So the eternal nature, but this particular verse, so many nice ways to explain this. So the eternal nature of Krishna's pastimes is established by using the present tense in the Bhagavatam verse quoted above. Now, for some people who know Sanskrit, and that's what he's pointing out here, Kapikarnapur, that this verse is explaining or giving description of Krishna, and in present tense. It's not like before, understand, not using past tense. So, it should be understood that the eternality of Krishna's pastimes is preserved by his inconceivable energy, that Chitta Shakti. This spiritual energy produces both manifest and unmanifest abodes. One cannot say that Krishna, who possesses inconceivable energy, does not have the power to maintain eternal places of manifest and unmanifest pastimes. Nor can it be said that his young lovers, the lotus-eyed gopis of Vrindavan, cannot be divided into different groups, such as Nitya Siddha Gopis and Sadhan Siddha Gopis, like the Shruti Charis and Muni Charis. Really? You understand all this? There's a Nitya Siddha Gopis. They're directly Kaya Viha of Srimati Radharani. Nitya Siddha Gopis. They're directly Chicha. Okay. This Nitya Siddha Gopis. Although some gopis also, and we can say many of these gopis, there's also two kinds of Nitya Siddha gopis. You know that? Buddha explained this in his Katyani class. He said, there's the Nitya Siddha gopis coming from Radharani, right? The Kaya Viha. But there's also one type of Nitya Siddha gopis that's coming from Baladev. Who's example? Like Ananda Vandali. Ananda Vandali coming from Baladev, not coming from Radharani. Understand? And there's also also coming from Baladev. So, although most of the associates, the Nitya Siddhas, are coming from Baladev. All the Nitya Siddha associates, they're all coming from Baladev. The cows, trees, they're all there. Even Nanda Baba and all the cow, all the gopas, they're all coming from Baladev. Except the gopis, it's coming from Radharani. But then there's the Sadhan Siddha Gopis. Sadhan Siddha Gopis meaning they were not like eternally coming, they're not directly coming from Baladev, not coming directly from Radharani. They're Tatastha Jivas who become perfected because of their sadhana. And now they entered into Vrindavan, and then they have now attained their form, eternal form as the gopis. So by sadhana they become perfected. So they're not directly coming from Baladev, they're coming from Vishnu. They're from Tatastha. So here he said, I'm just saying everything is happening because of that inconceivable energy of Krishna. So what will make you doubt, that he has no power to maintain the eternal places, whether it's manifest or unmanifest? Or you can say that his young lovers cannot be divided into different groups. Like so many groups are there. There's a Nitya Siddha, Sadhan Siddha. The example of Sadhan Siddha gopis are like the Shruti Charis and the Muni Charis. Nor can Vrindavan, the place of his transcendental pastimes, exist in an unmanifest state. Why can the pastimes of Hari in Vrindavan be both manifest and unmanifest eternally? O person fond of arguing is actually targeting all these logicians. People, they like to argue. So he said, give an answer to this question, to this one question. Do the manifest and unmanifest pastimes exist eternally and simultaneously? There are millions of universes, and as a particular pastime ends in one universe, it simultaneously manifests in another. You understand? So that's why there's manifest and unmanifest, and it's eternal, and it exists, simultaneously. So how? Because like here in the material world, there's so many universes are there, many Brahmandas. In one Brahmanda, okay, the pastime manifests, and when it manifests in another one. So it's always manifest and manifest. It's simultaneously happening like this. So he said, if they do not start in a particular universe, what is the question of disappearing? According to this method, the manifest pastimes remain eternally, always situated at some particular place. It is just like the sun, seemingly moving through days and nights and appearing sequentially in all the 7 continents. Although a pastime seems to disappear in one universe, it actually continues to exist there in unlimited, unmanifest forms. it reveals itself through different characteristics as described in Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatam Gita. How could one Krishna simultaneously enter different temples to marry each of the 16,000 women along with the inhabitants of Dwarka? You know this? No? Krishna has 16,108 queens. And each queen, they have their own palace. Right? So, Krishna is not only in one palace when he's situated in all the palaces. So he's there, 16,108. So, he said, how could one Krishna, so that's what he was telling him, one Krishna simultaneously can enter different temples to marry each of the 16,000 women along with the inhabitants of Dwarka, and also manifest himself in many forms along with forms of all his elders such as Vasudeva. Just as Krishna, without any assistance from his expansions, manifested many forms of himself and his associates in Dwarka, could he not also manifest such things in Vrindavan? So we hear that. In Dwarka, he manifests so many things. So why he cannot do that in Vrindavan? The Srimad Bhagavatam conclusively proves that Krishna is full of unlimited powers. Though he stays eternally in Vrindavan unmanifest, he goes off to Mathura. In his manifest form, Krishna stays in Vrindavan and eternally performs pastimes with the gopis. Krishna also burned in separation from the gopis in his manifest form. In his manifest form, that's in Dwarka, he is burning in separation. But at the same time, he is having unmanifest pastimes in Vrindavan. It is said, therefore, that nothing is impossible or astonishing for the Supreme Person, Yashodanandan, who is full of unlimited powers and beyond all conception. If Krishna is Devakinandan, showed such greatness in marrying all the princesses, could he not do much more as Yashodanandan, his most perfect and complete manifestation? All such things perfectly befit the unlimited nature of Krishna. Kavi Karnapur, the son of Shivananda, saying, whose very life is Sri Chaitanya, has written this Champu with a wealth of poetic knowledge. It has arisen by the mercy of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and by the pure intelligence attained from remembrance of the lotus feet of Sri Nath. Sri Gandharva Vidhari Ki Jai. So that's how he ended, actually, I think. I think this is the last verse of, the last chapter of Ananda Vrindavan Champu. Okay, now let's not waste so much time because we glorify Raghunath Thakur. Today, like yesterday I was mentioning, yesterday was Tritiya, right? That's why yesterday, the day is called, you remember the name? What's the name of the day yesterday? Hariyali Tej. Hariyali Tej. Hariyali Tej. So Hariyali means greenery and Tej means this third day. Another word for Tritiya. So today is, who knows? What's next to Tritiya? The fourth day, the name. Chaturthi. So, now this month is Shravan. And we are now in the second half of Shravan, going to the full moon. So this is the bright half. So, it's in the Julan Yatra for many devotees, the Brishvasis, starts on the third day. And so then, on the fourth day, this is the disappearance of, you can see in our calendar, Raghunath Thakur. So now we get opportunity to hear glories of Raghunath Thakur. This is the only way actually that we become acquainted to the family of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know? Because when you think of Mahaprabhu, you cannot just think of Mahaprabhu like one person. You know? And that's why we say Panchatattva. Mahaprabhu always with his associates. There's Mahaprabhu, and Nishananda will be there, Advaita Acharya will be there, Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas, and all his associates. Like that. So you cannot only also think, if you think of like pastimes of Mahaprabhu, you cannot think only, oh, there's only 5 of them. You know? Like, no. So now, when we hear, like on days like today, we hear glories of Raghunath Thakur. And then then you can appreciate, oh, he's one of these associates. And then it actually builds up or establish more relationship to Mahaprabhu. Because like now you know more of his associates. So quickly we can get some reference. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, he actually made commentary in Chaitanya Charitamrita. We only have for English first part, but in Hindi they have already complete. In his commentaries in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he gives so many descriptions of different associates of Mahaprabhu. This is the basis of Bhakti Vallabh Maharaj. He's writing all different associates of Mahaprabhu. Of course, there's Kavi Karnapur. He has written this Gaur Ganesh Dipika. It's Kavi Karnapur, no? He has written this Gaur Ganesh Dipika describing each of the different associates of Mahaprabhu. So, let's go to Raghunandan Thakur. Let me just search. Raghunandan. Raghunan 271. You must have heard already many pastimes of Raghunath Thakur, right? There's a place in Bengal, it's called Srikanda. It is one of the headquarters of the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are a big community of devotees. I was mentioning yesterday, every Chaturmasya, devotees of Bengal, they will stay with Mahaprabhu. They start staying with Mahaprabhu from even before Chaturmasya, that's this Rath Yatra, right? So one portion of these associates of Mahaprabhu from Bengal are the Kandavasi. We sing also every day, for those who join Sayan Arti, which part of the song? No. Yeah, before that, Swarupa Sanatan, Rai Ramananda, Kandavasi Murari Mukunda. So he's glorifying the Kandavasi. The leaders of this Kandavasi means the residents of Srikanda. The residents of Srikanda. So the leaders, one very prominent leader of that is Narahari, and his other two brothers, there's Mukunda and Madhav. And then there's Murari. Okay, so here, this is from Kavi Karnapur's work on this Dipika. He's saying here actually that Vyuhastritya Prajumna Priyanarma Sapo Bhava Chakre Lila Sahayam Yo Radham Madhuvayor Braje Sri Chaitanya Advaita Tanu Saeva Raghunandana. He's saying the third member of Chaturvyuha. You know the Chaturvyuha. What's the Chaturvyuha? There's like four, like yes. They are like first. They are like the four main manifestations of Bhagwan. So of course the original Krishna in Vrindavan, like this. But then to extend, and when we describe this thing, we should not forget that when we speak about like a spiritual tattva, that's beyond time. So sometimes we say, oh, from Krishna, then like, okay, this manifests like that. But it's eternal like that. But just for the sake of discussion, we say like this. Because our mind has to understand in a way. But original, of course, is Krishna in Braj, right? And of course, in Braj, that's full madhurya, meaning full sweetness. No, but there's Aishwarya there. There's all this, awesome, quality, aspect, but they're completely covered by sweetness, right? But then Krishna is the enjoyer of all aspects of pastimes. So then he has Leela also that has magnificence, like all this greatness, like this Aishwarya. So that's in Vaikuntha. And Vaikuntha is just like his God. He has no mother, father, not even friends, like this. He's God. Everyone is a servant. So he's great like that. In Vrindavan, his mother, father, he's being punished and like that. All very sweet lives there in Vrindavan. But then there's also middle, that's in Mathura. Like there's some Aishwarya and then there's some sweetness. And so in the discussion of, this is what Mahaprabhu described to Sanatana Goswami. There's original Krishna and Goloka Vrindavan. Then from him to expand to the other spiritual realm, which is like Mathura or Dwarka. Then there is his first four manifestations, like Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Paduruna, Aniruddha. So we say like that. But then but actually it said that they also did not come directly from Krishna and Goloka Vrindavan. They all manifest from Krishna's first manifestation. Who's that? Baladev. Anyways, that's a different topic. But I'm just mentioning here because Kavi Kanapur is saying, the third member of the Chaturvyuha, who's that? Rajumna. He took part in Radha Madhav's Leela in Braj. So, as who? As the intimate friend or Priyanarma Sakha. He has now appeared as Raghunandan, whose body is not different from that of Chaitanya. So now he said, he's now also appeared in Mahaprabhu Leela as Raghunandan. So Raghunandan, he said, he was born into a family of physicians. That is in year 1432, Sakha. That in our calendar, that's 1510. 1510, that's about the same year Mahaprabhu took sannyas. 1510. So, this is from Shikanda. Their family actually, they're physicians. Mostly Ayurvedic, not like when you talk of physicians like here, allopathic. His father's name was Mukunda. So when you say Kandavasi, Narahari, Mukunda, that's the father of Raghunandan. Now his mother's name is Anu. And you can see later, we know the pastime. I'm just going to tell you now because we will try to save time. We always hear this pastime. He was around 5 years old, this Raghunandan. When what happened? His father had to go. His father is a doctor, physician. They had to go. Then who will have to take care of their deity? They have their deity. So then you may ask, like, why not the mother offer? Sometimes, I don't know actually the situation. Sometimes I tell the story that the mother asked him, okay, do the offering. But actually, we don't know the mother. It is not mentioned in the story. There's no. We can think like there's no mother in this time. And that's why there's only the two of them. And actually in the Mahaprabhu Leela, you can see also all the time. Like Mahaprabhu talking to Raghunandan and Mukunda. One time Mahaprabhu asking Mukunda, who's the real father? Raghunandan or you? Then Mukunda said, him. His son is his father. And Mahaprabhu said, no, he did not say like that. Mahaprabhu agreed. So whoever where you learn Bhakti, he is like your father. And this is the thing with Raghunandan. He's like, even when he was 5 years old, he said like his very whole life is devotion. Anyone who sees him, there's so much Bhakti coming from him. So, He said his mother's name is unknown. Mukunda Das was Narahari Sarkar Thakur's older brother. Okay, so now we have some idea. Both are Mahaprabhu's like associates. Narahari, we hear also Narahari, he is like classmate of Mahaprabhu. You know, they're very close Mahaprabhu. So Mukunda, he's actually elder brother of Narahari. Narahari Sarkar. Now take note, Narahari Sarkar is different from Narahari Chakravarti. There's one book that is like telling stories of mostly pastimes after Mahaprabhu. Masam Narotam, Srinivas, something like that. This, what book is that? It's a famous book. This one of reference in this article also. Bhakti Ratnakar. Bhakti Ratnakar, that's written by Narahari, but that is Chakravarti. Okay, that's different Narahari Sarkar. So Narahari Sarkar, he's associated with Mahaprabhu. Narahari Chakravarti is later on, after, generations after. So, anyway, so he's telling, he is the son of Mukunda, Raghunandan. Mukunda himself is a great devotee of the Lord. One time he was invited by the king, you know, because he was a physician. The king had some health problem, invited him. But then, what happened? They were fanning the king with peacock feathers, you know. And so when he saw the peacock feather, immediately he remembered Krishna. And then, he became ecstatic and he fell down. And then, they were asking, like, what happened to you? He just said, I have epilepsy. But that's how he is. He's like, he's a great devotee. Just saying peacock feather, he gets, ecstatic. So then back to my story. His son was famous for this. He was just like 5 years old. Mukunda had to go somewhere. And so then he told his son, our Thakurji, their Thakur is Gopinath. So Gopinath, said he's been with us like for many generations. It's not just now that we're taking care of this Gopinath. My father was taking care of this Gopinath. His grandfather has been taking care of this Gopinath. Like this. Okay, so I want you to continue. You know, like nicely you are serving. You've seen me serve nicely Gopinath. I'm feeding him every day. Today I will not be able to offer. You offer. Okay? I said, okay. And so then Mukunda left. And then Raghunandan, he's there. His father already prepared. So then go, offering, Gopinath. And he see how his father offering. So he also like imitating, getting achaman, like this. And then he telling mantra. But then you see Gopinath not eating. And so then he became worried. Like, Gopinath, my father telling him, like, I should offer, please accept. Of course, he sees his father going, Then he also going out. But then when he coming back, it's like nothing happened. So then he's worried actually, like, he's not accepting my offering. So he started crying. He said, Gopinath, eat, why not eating? Like, what's wrong? Like that. My father will chastise me like this. He's telling me to offer to you like that. So he's crying and he's like this. And so then Gopinath, what he can do? Then he started eating and he ate everything. So later on when Mukunda came, then he asked him, you did offering? Yes. So you can give me some prasad? And he said, like, what prasad? Gopinath eat everything. So then, now, and his father said, like, my son never telling lie. So how he can tell lie? Okay, so he's actually like thinking about this, He didn't say anything. So then he was thinking and thinking, like, really, what happened? So then again, one day, he had to go somewhere. So he said, like, last time I let him offer, he said, Gopinath, eat everything. So he said, I want to see, really, maybe he's lying, or I don't think he's lying. So then he came out, and then after some time he came back, And you know the story, So then there's, actually, Raghunandan very happy, he gave opportunity to offer. So he's offering again, said, Gopinath, eat. And so then Gopinath now started to eat. And at that time Mukunda came. He looking at the window, watching. And then he saw Gopinath eating. But then Gopinath stopped eating because Mukunda was there. And so then now he became so happy. This Mukunda, like, oh, my son, like how great my son, like Mukunda and Raghunandan. Gopinath like eating. Actually, because he stopped eating, the laddu was only half. Up to now, this half laddu is there. And like, you can see many devotees, they coming and having darshan Gopinath, also looking at this laddu. So, you've been there? Prabhuji has brought us to this place in Shikanda. You should go sometime. Because here, Mahaprabhu also coming into this place. Lord Nityananda coming to this place also. When Lord Nityananda came here, at the back of the house of Narhadi, there's a kund. They call it Madhu Pushkarini, Madhu Kund. They call it the honey pond. Why? Because one time Lord Nityananda was like absorbed in Mudhu Baladev. He said, give me honey, like that. And then Narhadi is like, how I get honey? So he just got from this kunda. But then they all actually became honey. He's drinking. So then they call him this Madhu Kund. So the three most important devotees from Shikanda were Mukunda Das, so they were actually like very prominent. It's not that there's only three devotees in Shikanda. During Rath Yatra, big group from Shikanda, there are 7 groups that is around, they're circling the chariot of Jagannath. And he said Mahaprabhu would dance in all these groups simultaneously, And so then one group actually is just Shikanda group. It's just the group from Shikanda. So he said, but the 3 most important devotees from Shikanda were Mukunda, Raghunandan, and Narahari. Mahaprabhu asked Mukunda, I told this before, no? Is Raghunandan your father? And he said, yes, my father. Now, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how did Krishna's Kaviraj, there's many ways he glorified Raghunandan, but one verse there, in verse 131, in Madhya Lila, chapter 15, he's saying here, Raghunandan's work is to serve Krishna. He has no interest in anything other than serving Krishna. That is his very nature. From his early childhood, Raghunandan Thakur would feed the family's Gopinath Diti ladus. So then I've already mentioned that story. So there are other also miraculous events, he said. And okay, that is mentioning here. There's a pond known as Madhu Pushkarini behind the house. The legend is told that the Kadamba tree, which grew right next to the pond, always had 2 flowers blooming regardless of season. Kadamba. So there's actually a season for Kadamba. It's not like all the time there's the Kadamba. So he said there's a Kadamba tree near this pond. And all the time, every day, they will give 2 Kadamba flowers. Whatever season it is. Like that. But in the house of Raghav Pandit, there was no Kadamba tree. He has only a lemon tree. But then Lord said, give me Kadamba garland. Like that. So like, how I will get Kadamba? There's no Kadamba. It's not season for Kadamba. So go to your back, and when he was there on his lemon tree, there's all these Kadamba flowers. So he make it to a Kadamba garland. That's in Panihamti. But here in Shikanda, he said, according to the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan, another miraculous event took place in Raghunandan's life. What is that? That is in relation to Abhiram Thakur. Abhiram Thakur came to Srikanda. You know Abhiram Thakur, no? Who is Abhiram Thakur? He is one of the Dwadasa Gopals, 12 Gopals. And he has a unique way of giving rain. He has a whip. You know, he would whip anyone like this, and then they will have rain. But they will be whipped like this. He did that to Srinivas also. But sometimes, like he would pick up a very big tree, you know, and make it like flute. It's very strong. And one thing, people are afraid of him because, of course, he's great personality. But sometimes he offers pranam to somebody, and because, you know, they're not qualified for him to accept his pranam, you know, then they will die like that. So, like, let's say you're actually not a devotee, and maybe you're pretending to be a devotee. So then, okay, he offered pranam to you, then you will die like this. There's also many like temples. They have all this. Sometimes people they cheat in this way. They're putting, oh, I have all this shalagram, like so they make temple, then all this shalagram, and then people will give donation. And so then, oh, nice livelihood. I'm just putting all these rocks. I know one place actually, and it's not intentional. This brahmachari, he to go to the temple. This is in Durvasa. We have a temple in Durvasa. One of our brahmacharis there, sometimes he goes to Mathura or get milk. There's so many dogs there, you know? And so then, sometimes for protection from dogs, because there's some crazy dogs, they just attack you. Then he gets stoned on the way. And then he would throw like that. Sometimes he would be holding the stone, and then after that, when he reaches the temple, where he puts the stone, he puts it under the tree. And so now there's some stones there under the tree from, you know, from every day bringing there. And all these people that come in, they're also like watering these stones, like on the ground. Up to now, I think they're doing this. Like this. So anyway, see this, what's Abhiram. Anyone, if he goes to a temple also and he offers obeisances to the altar, and they're not really real shalagram, then they explode. You know? So yeah, many people are scared of him. And we know the story. You know? Some 6 sons of Lord Nishananda, they died because he offered obeisances. But the 7th son, that is Kirunaksai Vishwan, now is, what's his name? Virabhadra. When he offered obeisances, he was just smiling like that. He did not die. This is some type of lila. Anyway. So, what happened? So this is mentioned in Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidan. One day Abhiram Thakur came to Srikanda and he paid obeisances to Raghunandan. Already, now this is like a shortcut story. Before that, Mukunda, he knows Abhiram Thakur is here, and he's looking for my son actually, and he lied because he became afraid. Like, if you will offer obeisances to my son, you know what happened? Maybe my son will die like this. And so then he said, "Oh, my son not here." And so then Abhiram left. But then when Raghunandan heard about that, oh, Abhiram was here and was looking for me, he became so upset to his father. Why are you lying? Why are you not telling him here like that? And then he's looking for Abhiram Thakur. And finally they met. And so then Abhiram, he offered obeisances to Raghunandan. But of course nothing happened to him. So then, and what happened? He embraced him and he melted with rain. This Raghunandan. And then so what happened? Raghunandan started to dance. And he sang kirtan. And while doing so, he said one of his ankle bells like slipped from his foot and went flying off so far away, 4 miles away. There's a place, it's called Akaihat. This is near the house of one disciple of Raghunandan, Krishna Das. So that Akaihat, there's a pond now there. They call it the Nupur Kund. Because later on, to honor the place, to have remembrance of that lila, that 4 miles away, Raghunandan, that's in Borodanga, one place in Chicago nearby. That is actually the place during holy time and Basanta Panchami time. Devotees may gather to this, especially the full moon of Basanta. They have a big festival there in this Borodanga. So that is the place where this Raghunandan, he danced. And then his Nupur flew 4 miles away to this Angkai hut. And then there, now they actually, then later they made a kunda to make a remembrance for that place, to commemorate that event. So Mahaprabhu would consider Raghunandan as his son. What is that verse? What is that verse that we always recite? Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Saprityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namah. Is it Sapritraya or Namastikala Satyaya? Okay. Namastikala Satyaya. He is the eternal truth, past, present, and future. Namastikala Satyaya. Who is that? Jagannatha Sutaya Cha, the son of Jagannath Vishnu. Who is the son of Jagannath Vishnu? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's Sutaya Cha. And he said, Sabrityaya. Sa, when you see word sa, that means with. So when you say, Jai Sachinandan, Gaurahari, Saparshada Gaurahari, with his sparsha. So he said here, Namaskar Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sa Brityaya, with his Britya. Britya means servant. Sa Putraya. Putra means his sons. So Mahaprabhu is sannyasi, how many sons? So what is this verse? It's like making some statement that Mahaprabhu actually has some sons and like that. Yes, he has sons. But not like in a way that we think like, he was sannyasi. But who is sons? Like Raghunanda, is Kavikarnapur, who else? Gopal Guru Goswami or Jiva Goswami, like this. They're all considered his sons. Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So then, but here, he's saying here, Mahaprabhu, father of Sankirtan, gave his adopted son, Raghunandan Thakur, the authority to offer garland on the day before the Sankirtan Yajna, or the Adivas, and to make the final offering at the Yajna's end. This was during the time of Mahaprabhu, when they have all these Yajna, the Sankirtan festivals. Who does the offering of garland at the beginning? This Raghunandan. And at the end also, the ending, the final offering, he will do. Raghunandan Thakur accompanied the Bengali devotees to Puri every year at Chaturmasya. I was mentioning yesterday. So Shivananda Saint bringing everyone. Of course, he's taking charge of the devotees' prasadam and this, and lodging. And so every year, Raghunandan, along with all the other Kandavasis, they come for this Rath-Yatra festival, and then staying for the rest of the Chaturmasya. He would dance with his uncle Narahari at the Rath-Yatra festival in the group formed by the residents of Srigata. So I was mentioning this, 7 groups of devotees around the chariot. And specifically in that group of the Kandavasis, they're the main dancer. Raghunandan and his uncle Narahari. He also participated in the Keturi festival organized by Narottam Das Thakur. You know this Keturi festival? What is this Keturi festival? What is this Keturi? Keturi is the place of Narottam. That is in Bangladesh. What's the specialty of that place? Because later on when Narottam started his preaching, that became his headquarters. And this is the venue of the first Gaur Purnima festival. Of course, all the devotees, they always celebrate Gaur Purnima. But when you say the first Gaur Purnima festival, that we're referring to the festival that was attended by all the devotees of Mahaprabhu all over India. You know, from Vrindavan, from Jagannath Puri, from Bengal, you know, from all these places. Narottam Das Thakur organized this big festival and attended by all the devotees. And what's the specialty of that time? Then Mahaprabhu and all his associates appeared during the kirtan of Narottam Das Thakur. So he said, well, he was there. Raghunandan Thakur, he came to participated in this Kirtan festival. What else? During festival in Kapwa, Gadadhar Das. You know Gadadhar Das is one of the Gadasa Gopals also. Not Gadadhar Pandit, but Gadadhar Das. And his samadhi actually is in Kapwa. You know, if you remember, if you visited Kapwa, that sannyas place of Mahaprabhu, there's actually his samadhi there also. And also the samadhi of Mahaprabhu's hair. So when he was put in samadhi, Gadadhar Das, Raghunandan, he was there at the festival. And also in the festival for his uncle, when his uncle disappeared. So it has been said that anyone who is near to Raghunandan will win Mahaprabhu's mercy for life after life. So that's why we are remembering him, because we also want that mercy of Mahaprabhu. It's been said, who is near to Raghunandan will win Mahaprabhu's mercy for life after life. And so then he said, it is also said, Raghunandan is so merciful that he gives life to the most humble and fallen. And some said, what humility! There is no one he is equal. And others, he is as beautiful as Gandharva himself. This actually was stated in Bhakti Ratnakar. Bhakti Ratnakar is saying like this, that anyone who is dear to him, they get mercy of Mahaprabhu. And he himself is very merciful. Especially to the most humble and fallen person, he will be very merciful. He himself is very humble. He said, no one can equal in his humility. So, and what else Bhakti Thakur said? He said, Raghunandan Thakur, he had great affection for Srinivas Acharya. Before he disappeared, today is the disappearance day of Raghunandan. He said, before his disappearance, he actually consoled Srinivas. Because, you know, at that time, it was like difficult time. During that time of Srinivas Acharya. They were the next generation of Mahaprabhu's preachers, you know. So, he actually consoled. And he was telling him these things. He said, a difficult time is coming in which people will succumb to various doubts. Once our Lord Chaitanya and his companion, Lord Nityananda, have ended their incarnation, the Vaishnavas in the age of Kali will be anxious with every passing day. Whether very advanced, somewhat advanced, or neophyte, their hearts will nearly always be filled with doubt. But don't let this worry you. So this is what Raghunandan was telling to Srinivas. Lord Gauranga will accomplish many great works through you. I bless you that you remain long on this earth and that you and your followers protect our Lord's religion. Those who are opposed in devotion to Krishna will become devotees by your influence and they will take shelter of you. And we know him, Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda became very successful, very good preaching. So Raghunandan Thakur bequeathed his service of his Gaur Gopal deity to his son Kanai Thakur and then left this world on the 4th day, today, Chaturthi of the waxing moon on the month of Shravan. Kanai Thakur gave a feast as part of his father's last rites. And how did he disappear? It says, Raghunandan slowly became hidden into mortal eyes while repeating again and again the names of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. How glorious is that day of Shravan Sukla Chaturthi. Who will not sing the glories of Raghuనందన్ Thakur? This is from Bhakti. So now we're singing his glories. And just we're remembering how he spent his life. We pray for his blessings. Now it's time, no time to speak on Bhaktidas Maharaj, but Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Shri Raghuనందన్ Thakur ki Jai, Sapar Shastri Guru Hari ki Jai, Gora Premanand ki Jai.